So I found this 125cc engine. It has 3 forward gears and 1 reverse, which I think is pretty cool. It's got a little transmission on the end of it. It's got electric start, and it had a carb. It has this nice stick shift on it. It has an 8-ball on the end of it, which I thought was kind of neat. But I saw the price of it, and I know it needed repair, but it was pretty cheap, so I figured I'd pick it up. And yeah, there's a few things that are wrong with it. First, taking off the side cover, there's grass clippings all throughout this. So it looks like a lot of cleaning is going to be done, inside and outside.
Yeah, there really should not be any kind of dust or anything in here at all. We have our paper gasket seal. They really shouldn't be anything passing through. It looks like that's a potential point where fluid can get out. It's around that gap right there. But yeah, all around the chain we've got sides really gunked up oil, cut grass. This did come off of an ATV. Does seem to be a fair amount of grass. This gasket seems, it is paper. Oh, and I was wondering what this wear is. I just realized it's chain wear. And I think I just realized why I was having oil escape here. This is not all the way up. This should be up a little bit higher. Seal across there, and it wasn't. Even then, that seal looks pretty gone. I'm going to try and reuse it so I don't have to buy anything yet. Maybe get some gasket maker. It should be fully drained. I drained it overnight. So this is going to be my starter wire then. Let me get this in neutral. That should be neutral. So this should just spin freely. Yeah, so that spins freely now. So now I should just be feeling pure compression on this. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a great sign. I was worried about that. Look at all that grass in there. Oh, now I see where it came in. I'm missing a bolt. There's supposed to be a cover here. That's what's supposed to keep all the grass out. Obviously that cover wasn't on. Well, that's not so great, so I guess I'm gonna have to find out what thread pitch that is and make a plug. Just get some of that out of there. Our sensor for detecting revolutions. And we see here that we have a little protrusion that's here. And then we're actually reading that little bump with that sensor there. See if I can get that seal on. It's definitely leaking there. You can actually see the opening. Honestly, this whole thing needs to be taken apart and given a really good clean bath, but we're not doing that yet. Yeah, this thing just needs to be flushed really badly. But supposedly, this is a new slide carb, which actually does work. Looks like the fuel in right there. It looks like I have 2 adjustment screws over here. That looks like an air to fuel ratio, and that looks like an idle set. I think I'm actually just gonna unplug the motor from here. That one looks mangled. Let's get the CDI box, the starter. Put that there for now. Oh, yeah, no, look at that. We're still leaking oil. Oh, yeah, it's leaking all along the bottom of the seal. Oh, it's leaking around the head gasket right there. You know, sometimes it is worth buying a new engine, but you know, if it's just seals, these engines are pretty popular. I'm just checking all the seals around here. Let me see if we have any type of resistance on the starter motor. I hope we do. Getting continuity there. So that starter actually might be fine. Would be great. I would love electric start. I guess I should get 12-volt battery on this. Next bigger battery is in motorcycle. Let's go grab that. Now we got that out. Hopefully this will work. A little proof of concept. Wow, those are really warm. That's good enough for me. So we've got a starter that works. It sounds like we have compression. We have, it looks like two bad leaks. It looks like we have a seal around here, that's bad. I have the seal around here, that's bad. I do actually want to look on the inside. Oh, yep, we got some oil. Honestly, it looks really clean in here, and that's a really good sign. It smells like kerosene, though. Oh, wow. Let's take a look over here. So we have our clutch basket. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Yep, does nothing, and then if we pull it, and for some reason it's really hard to tell where I'm at, and I bet it's actually because of those bearings in there. I bet that actually pushes it down a little bit and makes it a little bit harder. Yeah, that does nothing, and then that's probably neutral. Yeah, it's neutral. You can see inside the clutch basket, if I turn this, there it spins. It's geared down a lot. The stuff in here that looks in really good condition. I'm not seeing any junk. I mean, besides right here. And yeah, I know we're supposed to replace these paper seals. I know. I'm not going to yet. I want to hear this engine run first, and then I'll take care of it better. I say that because if it's a junk engine, why put more money into it? It really smells like gas. Almost as like on the kerosene side. Okay. There it goes. Oh, those are the cams. Oh, I didn't even recognize that. There's a cam.
After wiping off a small part of the outside of the casing, I realized how dirty this all was, so I spent a little bit taking off the chain gear and everything, cleaning all of that up, and then turning it over and cleaning up all the extra dirt.
Oh, there is a oh, just a rubber O-ring. So far, it's dead clean. Let's look inside the bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if we found nothing in here. Yep, straight up, yeah, it's just brand new, clean. It is a cool mechanism that I have there. Let's take a look at this. So we got our starter, we have our CDI box.
I went around and tested all the connections, make sure things still worked, and, well, I'm missing a bunch of stuff from it, and some of the lines don't work, so I guess I have to go and fix all that.
Okay, let's get this box opened. So this is our, oh wow, that's a tiny battery. I don't expect it to be that tiny. For reference, look how tiny it is. Okay, so this is obviously the gasket kit. So one of these gaskets is the one that was really, really bad on the outside. And this is for that side hole. Yeah, actually I thought these were plastic. That's metal. That's shocking. Oh yeah, so here's the air filters and spark plugs. So that leaves this to be the wiring kit. And we get another spark plug. Okay, so I didn't get the one with the wiring harness because we already have a wiring harness. I just got the one that has all the components. And the reason why is this was literally half the price of the one that already included a wiring harness. But I did have to get a new solenoid. So here's our coil, which we were completely missing before. Okay, that looks pretty straightforward. And this was something I didn't even know that this bike supported, but it does. It's a 12 volt regulator. That way so we can recharge this tiny little battery when the motor's running, which is really nice. And then they also included a fuel filter. Might as well, came with the kit, new CDI box. The old one, he said it worked fine, but you know, I'd rather, you know, it came with the kit, it's fine. That means we have everything now to get this motor running besides oil, and you better believe we'll be using this for a gas tank because it's testing, you know? So I did find a wiring diagram for this, and funnily enough, I actually found it on the website that sells some of these little motors. So it might just be, see what fits where for some of these. Like that seems pretty reasonably goes there. If I remember right, these ones actually went to the motor itself. I was told that this goes to this guy. That would go there. That would go to our ground. That's green and black. Do we have any that are pink and yellow? Oh, here's that green and black line. Let me look up that manual. I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, here's the little motor. Yeah, this thing with the full kit is $325 basically. But that's the motor, all of the electrical and everything. So that actually seems like a fairly good deal until you see like the prices of the 250. The wiring diagram, here it is. I'm gonna start snipping some of this stuff and actually looking at what's under all this electrical tape.
What I didn't realize is there's actually 2 layers of electrical tape here, so I only took off the first layer, and I didn't really see anything wrong, because most of the actual issues I think are underneath the second layer.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have saved the $17 and probably should have just gotten wiring harness that does everything, but hey, wire should be wire. Worst comes to worst, we do a little bit more wire splitting.
So I started to remove more of the electrical tape off of this just to make sure I have all the connectors that I actually need. So I removed some, and I didn't realize until now that a lot of the wires are just looping back on themselves.
Well, you know what? At the very least, we can see if we have a spark. Which was...
So after I thought I had all the connectors that I needed to do everything, I didn't realize that I actually have more connectors than what I actually need, and there's just some wiring weirdness. So I started to trace back on the wires of where everything actually goes, and then I just realized this thing is an entire mess. Someone had done a lot of work on this, and just, everything's weird. So basically from here until I finish doing this wiring harness right now, I'm basically just cutting apart everything at where joints are, not at the actual like connector, because I want to keep the wire length on the connectors, but pretty much every joint had some type of corrosion or wasn't soldered, like it was twist tied together or some type of bad connector. Basically basically it was just corroded, it was bad, needed to be undone. So in order to get it to all match the wiring diagram, I just kind of remashed up what I did need and what I didn't need, and I got some knockoff Wago nuts and just kind of reconnected it all back up to what seemed right to make it the least amount of wires, you know, that I didn't need. And hopefully I left some spare connectors in there that way, so in the future when we do some other electrical modifications, hint hint, we can easily reconnect this. And now it should be way less complicated because we removed all other systems like the lighting and everything. We still have basic things like on and off, starter motor, you know, basics like that. And, oh yeah, and the kill switch. That's a little crucial. Yeah, that all should be there.
So last night I finished the wiring harness, at least to a point where it can be modified a little bit, but to what actually matches the majority of the wiring diagrams I can find for this engine size. And so now I just want to see if there's spark, because I didn't test that before. So let me get this thing up here. And so here is our new wiring harness, reasonably. So you're probably wondering what these are. We have our green ground, then our blue, if we trace it back, is our green yellow, which goes down through this line right here to the solenoid. Solenoid, so that'd be starter motor. And then white goes to a solid green engine kill switch. So the only thing I haven't connected over here for this guy, I did not connect the positive line on the solenoid for the start. I'm gonna do that. So now I should be able to, with the push button or the tap of that wire, start the starter solenoid. My ground to the motor isn't connected. And this guy, I imagine, goes somewhere over here. I might take off that bolt, put it there. Of course that doesn't fit. That seems like a solid connection to me. Actually, before I connect that, my ground, this should be my kill switch, which we'll leave on for the instance. And this should be start. So I'll just shove that in there and it should start hopefully. And this should start it. I wasn't paying attention to this at all. No spark, none at all. Let's try this again. It sparks. Okay, so the kill switch, when you turn it on, kills it. I'm just curious if the old CDI box actually works. So it works, it's way harder to see. And you know, that could be just because there's oil on those terminals. We're getting a really bad connection. So note, blue starts, white kills. Actually, you know, I haven't even seen the plug in there. Yeah, I know I probably should have checked this earlier, but it's covered in fluid. It smells like kerosene. This probably means it's old gas. I just want to see if anything shoots out. Well, good to know that there was compression, because it spins quite freely now. Yeah, see, when it's on the engine, it snaps right on. Just give it a little bit more. Let's see if this slips on. It does. We have fuel, we should have spark, we have a way to stop it, and we have a way to start it.
Also, I removed the portion that was about replacing all the gaskets in the oil, because that'll be for a future video.
So here goes nothing. It smoked a little bit, but it started. Okay, ready? Yeah, let's kill it. There we go. See? It runs. And that is off of 93. I didn't think it was going to run tonight. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not think it was going to run at all. I thought I was going to have another issue That was gonna have a massive oil leak. It idled, it revved, it started by itself, no starter spray, just by itself. So next thing that I want to do is I want to see forward, reverse, neutral on this.
But that's all I have for today. I produce one video every single week. We spent around $150. If you want to support this, there's a Patreon. If you want to learn more about stuff like this, there's playlists and a Discord.